like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Na Dior Pop. In a world where every movement is captured, analyzed, and replayed, it's often the smallest, most fleeting moments that leave the deepest mark. Not the grand performances, not the scripted interactions, but the quiet, almost accidental seconds that reveal something real. And this time, all it took was a simple act: waiting. Somewhere between the noise of schedules and the blur of busy surroundings, Jeon Jungkook stood still, unusually still. There was no rush in his steps, no distraction in his eyes. Instead, there was a quiet focus, as if he was holding on to a single thought, a single expectation. He was waiting. And when Park Jimin finally appeared, that stillness shattered in the most unexpected, heartfelt way, turning an ordinary moment into something unforgettable. There are moments in the world of K-pop that seem incredibly small, almost too simple to notice, but somehow, they carry the deepest emotions. Not on a grand stage, not under dazzling lights, but in quiet seconds that could easily be overlooked. And once again, everything centers around two names that never fail to capture ARMY's hearts: Jeon Jungkook and Park Jimin. That day felt ordinary. All the members of BTS were gathered in the same place, perhaps for practice, filming, or just another schedule. Nothing seemed particularly special at first glance. But then there was Jungkook. He stood slightly apart from the others. His posture was relaxed, but his eyes told a different story. He was searching. Or rather, waiting. Jungkook wasn't doing much. No playful energy, no distractions, just standing there, quietly. There was something unusual about him in that moment. A calmness that felt intentional. As if everything around him had faded into the background. As if he was only focused on one thing: waiting for Jimin. Time moves differently in moments like that. Seconds stretch longer than they should. But Jungkook didn't seem impatient. If anything, there was warmth in the way he waited. A quiet certainty. Like he already knew the moment he was waiting for would come. Because he knew who he was waiting for. And then Jimin appeared. No dramatic music. No sudden reaction from the crowd. Just Jimin, casually walking into view. But Jungkook's reaction, that's what changed everything. The second his eyes landed on Jimin, something shifted instantly. Without hesitation. Without thinking twice. Jungkook ran. Not just a quick walk. Not a casual step forward. He ran, light, natural, almost instinctive. Like he was being pulled by something stronger than thought itself. There was no performance in it, no exaggeration. Just pure, unfiltered instinct. And within seconds, he was standing right beside Jimin. As if that had always been his place. To some people, it might have looked like nothing. Just one member moving closer to another. But for those who truly paid attention, there was so much more hidden in that brief moment. The way Jungkook stood next to Jimin afterward, it was effortless. No awkwardness. No hesitation. As if the distance from before had never mattered at all. As if being beside Jimin was something that came naturally to him. And Jimin? He didn't look surprised. There was no confusion, no dramatic reaction. Instead, he seemed completely used to it. As if moments like this had happened countless times before. As if Jungkook suddenly running to his side wasn't unusual, but simply part of who they are together. And that's where the beauty lies. Because the deepest connections are rarely shown through grand gestures. They live in the smallest habits. The unconscious actions. The things that feel so natural, they don't need to be explained. ARMY who witnessed this moment felt it instantly. That quiet warmth. That soft ache. That overwhelming feeling that something so simple could mean so much. It left people wondering, what really exists between them? Is it just friendship? Or something deeper, beyond any label? But maybe that question doesn't need an answer. Because what truly matters isn't how we define it, but how it feels. Jungkook didn't need to say he missed Jimin. He didn't need long explanations or emotional words. It was all there, in the way he waited, and in the way he ran. And Jimin didn't need to ask why Jungkook came to him. He didn't question it. Because between them, there is an understanding that goes beyond words. Moments like this remind us that behind the pressure, the schedules, and the global spotlight, they are still human. They still have someone who makes them feel at ease. Someone whose presence can change everything in an instant. And for Jungkook, in that moment, that person was Jimin. Fans replayed the clip over and over again, not to find something new, but to feel that same emotion again. Because there was something undeniably genuine about it. Something rare, even in real life. A quiet wait. A sudden run. And a place beside someone that feels like home. In the end, maybe that's what makes their story so special. Not the big, dramatic moments, but the small, meaningful ones. The details that most people miss, yet mean everything. And when Jungkook ran toward Jimin that day, he didn't just close the distance between them. He touched the hearts of millions who witnessed it. Because sometimes, love, or whatever name you choose to give it, doesn't need to be explained. It only needs to be felt. And maybe that's why this moment lingers so deeply in people's hearts. Because in the middle of a world that often feels fast, loud, and overwhelming, something as simple as waiting for someone, and running to them without hesitation, can still feel incredibly powerful. It reminds us that even in the busiest lives, there are people who matter enough to make everything else fade away. Jeon Jungkook didn't need grand words or dramatic gestures to show what he felt. And Park Jimin didn't need to question it. Between them, there was already an understanding, quiet, natural, and deeply rooted. In the end, it wasn't just about a run. It was about instinct, about comfort, about choosing someone again and again without even thinking. And maybe that's what makes moments like this so unforgettable. Not because they are loud, but because they are real. Because they remind us that sometimes the purest feelings are the ones we don't plan, the ones that simply happen. A brief wait, a sudden run, a place right beside someone who feels like home. And somehow, that was enough to say everything. A quiet moment, yet it spoke louder than words ever could. Because sometimes the heart moves first, and everything else simply follows.